Hello and welcome to my training. My name is Chuck Holmes, and what I'm going to do today is teach you how to sell without selling. So let's start by defining what selling is. In my own words, selling is when you transfer your ideas to someone else. You get someone else to see your point of view. It's not about just selling a product or service. Every day we sell our ideas to other people. Where are we going to eat tonight? Are we going to do this project or that project? Are we going to pay off this debt first or that debt first? So remember, selling is influence. If you have a business, your job is to make the cash register ring. You have to learn how to sell. And the best way to do it is to sell without selling, because most people, they don't like the word sales. They don't like the word selling because they think of it as hype, pressure, being on a used car lot, being locked in a room, having the thermometer turn way up where you're sweating and the car salesman is pressuring you to buy more of a car than you want or that you can afford. That's not what sales is. We already defined what sales is. So I'm going to give you 10 tips that I use that have worked well for me through the years to sell without selling. And I will tell you, when you're just starting out, it takes a little bit of time to get used to this. So you're not going to be an expert overnight, but if you can focus on these 10 areas, you should do very well. The first tip, and one of the most important tips, is to ask questions and listen. I have found from personal experience, you want your prospect to talk 4, 5, 6 times more than you do. You need to get really good at asking questions and then being 100% quiet and listening attentively to your prospect. Why? Well, first of all, they like this. But second of all, you can get a lot of helpful information from your prospect by learning how to ask the right questions and listen. Number 2, and this is my best tip, and that is to get people to approach you first. When you are in sales or when you're trying to sell something and you reach out to people, most people have their sales barriers put up. They've got that fence, that layer around them that protects them from being sold to. However, when people approach you first, their defense mechanisms are down and you are now in the driver's seat, and they've already pre-qualified themselves by approaching you first. How do you get people to approach you first? There's only 2 ways that I know of. You can do attraction marketing or you can do advertising. And we'll cover that a little bit more in this training and on future videos as well. Number 3 is you want to be calm, cool, and collected. Tom Hopkins, who's a very popular sales trainer, he taught me act like a lamb, sell like a lion. In other words, have that relaxed intensity, but don't be overly aggressive. Don't use hyper pressure. Just be relaxed. Try to match the body language of your prospect, match their demeanor, and you should be good to go. Number 4, never use pressure or hype. Those days are long gone. No one wants to go and be locked in a room and have the temperature turned up and have the sweat beating down your head and have the salesman come in, or 2 or 3 salesmen, and try to sell you something you don't want or can't afford. We have what's called educated consumers in today's world. So if you use pressure or hype, you're going to lose most sales, and rightfully so. The next way to sell without selling is to follow up. And when I say follow up, I really mean automated follow up. I like to personally use an autoresponder, but you could also do this through direct mail. You could do this through texting. You need a way to follow up with people so you drip on them. And now when I say drip on them, that just means you stay in touch with them periodically, maybe once or twice a week, by providing value, by providing helpful information, and you do that forever. And the truth is, most people, they need 7, 10, 20 follow-ups before they buy or join. So if you can just stay in touch with people, most salespeople never get past that second or third follow-up. So just getting to the 10th, the 20th, the 30th follow-up, your odds of success go up significantly. Another thing you need to do is build up the like, know, and trust. People like to do business with people they like, know, and trust. The best way that I've found to do this, obviously, is to do what you say and say what you do. But I like to do this through video because people can listen to you, they can see you. And the more that someone interacts with you and the more that you do what you say and say what you do, the more they're going to like, know, and trust you. And the higher the likelihood they're going to eventually do business with you. Another tip to sell without selling is to put yourself in your prospect's shoes. Some people might call this being empathetic. What you need to do is take your eyes off yourself for a minute and think about your prospect. What type of fears do they have? What are they worried about? What problems are they dealing with? And how can you offer a solution to those problems? The more you know about your prospect, with what they fear, with what they think, the better you're going to do with sales. Number 8 is to focus on educating your prospects. I like to replace the word salesperson with educator. Really, what I think of myself as is an educator. Yes, I sell stuff, but my real job is to teach, to train, to help people. And as you do that, you become successful. And what I like to do, kind of like a doctor. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but this is what a medical doctor does. When you go to your doctor and you know there's something wrong with you, your doctor does not just diagnose you right away. Instead, they ask you a bunch of questions. They're trying to figure out what the symptoms are, what the root cause is, when it started, how long it's been bothering you, and then they can diagnose you. That being a salesperson is the same way. If you can educate and help your prospect, you're going to be able to offer solutions to their problems. Another thing you want to do is focus on what's in it for them. This kind of goes hand in hand with number 7, but focus on how your product or service can benefit the person that you're talking to, rather than how much money are you going to make from that one transaction. If you focus on what's in it for your prospect, you can really never go wrong, because you're focused on the benefits, you're focused on the value that they gain by doing business with you, by using your product or service. Number 10 is to use stories. Another great way to sell without selling is to become a good storyteller. Now, this is a learned skill. This is something I'm not very good at yet. I'm working on it, but I've followed a lot of good marketers who sell a ton of product and they don't even try to sell anything. They basically tell stories and they mix in their marketing messages and their sales pitch right within their story, and it doesn't even feel like a marketing message or a sales pitch. So if you can learn how to incorporate stories, either your own stories or other people's stories, or if you can take your sales message and turn it into a memorable story, you're going to get a lot more sales. So these are just some of my best tips on how to sell without selling. This is by no means a conclusive list. I would love to hear from you. Any tips or suggestions that you have, you can leave a comment below this and we can start a conversation. I'd love to hear what you think. If you got some value out of today's training about how to sell without selling, I would love if you checked out the resources and the links in the description box below this training. We have a lot of tools and things that can help you. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. That will help out our channel a lot. I hope you have a great day. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.